How's it going, everyone? Caleb Lumby here, and today we're going to be talking about the first ever Game Boy game on the channel, original Game Boy game, and that game is Tiny Toon Adventures Bab's Big Break. This is another Tiny Toon Adventures game made by Konami. They made quite a few of them back in the day, and they did a really good job on the ones that I've played so far. And this game is really fun. I actually like this game quite a bit. It's really charming. It has a lot of cool levels on it. It plays very, very well. In fact, it plays similar to something like the original Super Mario games. So it actually is a lot of fun, and it's really cool. Especially because you don't just play as one character in this game. It actually gives you the option to play as multiple characters and swap at any time during the levels. So this game is all about Babs wanting to become an actress. However, you don't play as Babs at all throughout the entire game. You play as Buster and a couple of his other friends, and your job is basically you're basically following all the levels that Babs went through and basically trying to make sure that she is staying safe on her journey to become an actress. And on the way, you fight a few different bosses, you go through multiple different platforming levels, you get to go down some tubes, just like you would see in Mario, and the tubes will take you to secret locations and stuff like that. So there's a lot of similarities to the original Super Mario's game, which is pretty cool. And this game is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Level design is really, really good. Each level, even though this is black and white, keep in mind because it's the original Game Boy, each level still feels very unique and very different from one another. I really like some of the level designs in this too, because you go to the woods in one level, there's like this house that's like haunted in one level, there's all sorts of different stuff, and I really like the way that they did it. And each character you play as, like I said, you can swap characters at any time, from Buster to Plucky to whatever the little pig's name is. I can never remember his name. It's like something Ham. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Hampton is the pig's name. And each character has their own special move that they can use. Throughout the levels, you can find a bunch of different fruit and vegetables. You can find watermelons, you can find carrots, and you can also find pineapples. And each fruit has a corresponding character. So Hampton can use the watermelons, and he can roll them like a bowling ball at the enemies. Plucky, he has pineapples, and he spikes the pineapples on the ground like a football, and they can ricochet off the ground. And then you have Buster, who throws his carrots, and he kind of like arches them up in the air to hit things that are higher up than him. So they all have their own unique ability and their own unique way of using that ability. So that was pretty cool to see. Actual boss fights in this game, they're pretty fun. I do like the majority of them. They're pretty simple. If you played the Tiny Toons games on the Sega Genesis, for example, if you played Buster's Hidden Treasure, you probably know what to expect. It's more of the same. Just jump on the enemy's head, and you have to do it so many times before you can defeat the enemy. Sometimes the enemy will have like a certain pause, and that's the area where you're going to have to hit them. Like, for example, there's this gigantic dog that's like running around, and you have to like jump away from him, and you basically have to avoid him. And if you can avoid him long enough, he'll stop to take a breather, and then you can attack him and get your hit in on him. So there's a lot of stuff like that. It's pretty simple, and it's pretty similar to the other Tiny Toons video games that I've played. As you play through this game, you'll run into some other characters that you'll need their help to be able to get to the end of the level. And you basically have to find them throughout the level. Usually they'll be somewhere in the middle of the level, and you'll find them, you'll free them from whatever situation they're in, and once you free them, you'll be able to exit the level. So you'll run into characters like Fifi, you'll run into Dizzy, Shirley, you'll run into a bunch of different characters, and you're going to need them to help you exit the level. Now, you can also go down some of those pipes I was talking about to go to secret areas, and some of those pipes will have mini-games hidden in them. There's one mini-game called, like, Whack the Max or something like that. So you're basically taking a stick and you're trying to whack Montana Max whenever he pops up out of a tube, like Whack-A-Mole. So that's one of the levels that you have, or one of the mini games. You also have a little racing one where you're trying to tap like the buttons as quick as you can, and if you tap the buttons fast enough, your character will run faster than whatever your opponent is. So you can actually pick like one of 3 different opponents to face. So there's some cool little stuff like that, cool little things to find whenever it comes to like going down the pipes and finding secret areas like that. You're also collecting a lot of gems throughout the levels, and at the end, I don't really know why it does this, but it asks you if you want to use your gems to buy like this movie theater, but it's kind of pointless to do because you can still get the ending either way, so I don't really know why it asks you that. But it's an option. So I guess if you want to collect them and buy the movie theater, even though you don't need to, you can. Because either way, you have to defeat the villain to get the movie theater anyway, so I don't really get that. But hey, I guess it's there if you want to. giving you the illusion of choice. But either way, this game is really fun. It's really well designed. It plays very well. I didn't have any issues with the way it played. Everything was super smooth on it. The only complaint I could have is that the characters move a little bit slow for my liking. I wish that the characters could run a little bit faster. This game plays a little bit slower than something like Super Mario Bros., even though there's definitely similarities between the two. This game definitely is a little bit slower than that game. But it's still pretty good. It's still really good, and I picked this game up for $6, and if you can pick this game up for that price, you're doing pretty good. I would honestly say that this game, I don't want to say that this game is worth, like, a crazy amount of money, but this is one of the better Game Boy games I've played. If you have to go, like, to $15 to pick this game up, I still don't think that's a terrible deal for it. It's a pretty fun game, and I could definitely see myself going back and playing this a few more times, because it's really fun, and it's one of the best looking Game Boy games I've played too. Konami really did a good job when it comes to the Tiny Toon Adventures games. So I'm looking forward to playing more of these old Tiny Toon Adventures games, and I'm glad I played through this one. This one was a blast to play through, and I'm glad I was able to find it. If you can pick it up for $10 or under, that's great. If you have to go up to $15 for it, that's still not too bad, honestly, for this game. Even if you have to, I don't want to say if you have to go up to 20, because I don't want you to have to spend $20 on this game. But honestly, it might even be worth that. It's a really good game. It's one of the best games I've played on the Game Boy. So there we go. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and subscribe button if you did, and I will talk to you in the next video. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.